Jasmine Lamantas, reporting live from Texas City. I'm here at the scene of the crime. The two members of the Borden family have been whacked 18 and 11 times in their own residence. But the real question here is, who did these brutal murders?
Here we have the suspects for the murderous killings of Andrew and Abby Borden. Let's start with the top suspect, Lizzie Borden. Many believe that Lizzie is guilty. Let's examine why, starting with her potential motive. At the time of Andrew's death, he was very wealthy. His net worth at the time would be around $10 million in today's standards.
Problem: the composition. The investigators look for the possible motives for the couple's murders.
However, despite his wealth, Andrew was reportedly a penny pincher. In trial, Maggie testified that the Borden family lived frugally and ate a mutton-based diet. Lizzie reportedly smiles as this was being described.
5 years before the murders, Lizzie had a falling out with her stepmother Abby that resulted in Lizzie going from calling Abby mother to Mrs. Borden. The dispute was over buying a house for Abby's half-sister rather than Lizzie and her sister Emma. And sure enough, after Mr. and Mrs. Borden's murders, 32-year-old Miss Lizzie and 41-year-old sister Emma inherited the estate and later bought a house on the hill in the wealthy neighborhood in Fall River.
When asked if her father mentioned the will to her, Lizzie said he did not. Moving on from motive, during her inquest testimony, Lizzie's answers were sometimes wildly inconsistent. Lizzie also reportedly burned a dress of hers after the murders, claiming there was paint on it. However, this was not the dress she was seen wearing on the day the event took place, and that dress was actually handed over to the police. On the day of the murders, Maggie, their housemaid, saw Lizzie wearing an unstained blue dress. Lizzie could perhaps have committed the murder and then changed while Maggie was reportedly sleeping. But the time frame for that would have been extremely slim, and dresses in that time period were a bit of a process to take on and off, so this seems rather unlikely.
Another damning detail came from a pharmacist that testified at Lizzie's trial that she had tried to buy a poison called prussic acid the day before her father and stepmother were killed. However, this testimony was dismissed. Other than a possible motive and circumstantial pieces of evidence, there was no physical evidence that implicated Lizzie in the murders. The hatchet that was found in the basement was clean. At the end of the trial, Lizzie was found guilty.
However, many people still believed that Lizzie was guilty. In fact, there was even a creepy schoolyard rhyme that goes,
The next suspect is the family maid, Kate. Kate had gone upstairs to sleep in her bedroom a floor above the guest room where Mrs. Borden was murdered.
Pattern recognition. The investigators began to suspect Russell due to his striking certain insistence that her half-sister was behind the murders.
Kate, in her own testimony, claimed she may not have been fully asleep at the time of the murders. Yet somehow, she did not hear the brutal murder only one floor below.
Our third suspect is Russell. He is the illegitimate son of Andrew Borden. Despite being a billionaire, his father didn't give any money to support him or his sick mother. There were even reports that he was abused and mistreated. The resentment he harbored could have been the drive for him to do the murders. So, where were you when this happened?
I was at the backyard barn at around 10:50 to 10:55 a.m. And then around 11:15 a.m., I heard a heavy fall and subdued groaning. When I went back inside the house, the screen door was already opened, and I shouted to Kate that she needs to calm down real quick because father's dead.
What can you say about the poison that has been found in your bedroom?
What? I have poison inside my bedroom? That's not mine!
Where were you when this event happened?
I was in my room, sleeping upstairs.
How come you didn't wake up when this happened?
I was probably sick.
That's a beautiful necklace you have. Where did you get it?
My mom gave it to me.
So, Mr. Russell, was it? Where were you when this happened?
I was on my way home But actually, I did see Lizzie burning a dress.
So that's it. Why didn't you see her burn that dress down?
Hey, I did not mind her, so piss off. We are not that close, okay?
Nice necklace.
Oh, this? Yeah, thanks.
How did you manage to get that? Inheritance, perhaps?
None of your business.
Do you find anything suspicious about Kate?
Well, sometimes when I ask for water at night, she doesn't respond. I'm starting to think that she leaves at night, so I'm suspecting that she secretly meets with someone. But wait, what is this for?
Nothing. We're just asking. We now know who the murderer is.
You're bluffing.
Are we?
Where did you get that necklace, Kate?
It looks exactly like the one from the Raizu Palace in Uzbekistan. That's emerald silver, and it's been a symbol of true love in their culture since 1693.
It wasn't his fault. They deserved it.
Data representation. The investigators revealed that due to the Russell and Kate's couple necklace, they have aroused a suspicion that led them to the truth. Russell was the real killer. Due to his father's unjust treatment to him and his lover, he plotted his and his wife's death and pinned it to Lizzie Borden.
Who deserved it? And it wasn't whose fault.
They beat him and treated him like trash. He's a good person. He did it for me. To get me out of the house.
So you agreed to pin it on Lizzie then?
I didn't. She was my friend. I didn't mean to do it, but we had no choice.
Russell was beaten up and abused by his father, let his mom die, and they kept you away from your family. They treated you just as unfairly, and you concluded to murder? You pinned it on an innocent person, your friend no less. And for what? For revenge? You're despicable.
Generalization and abstraction. Andrew and Abigail Borden were both murdered in the hands of Russell as an act of revenge due to his father's neglection to both him and his then dying mother. It was also to free his lover, Kate, from the hands of the household's mistreatment.
The two members of the Borden family have been whacked 18 and 11 times in their own residence. But the real question here is, who did this brute?
Lizzie reportedly smiles as this was being described.
There was no physical evidence that implicated Lizzie in the murders. The hatchet that was found in the basement was clean. At the end of the trial, Lizzie was found guilty.
Our third suspect is Russell. He is the illegitimate son of Andrew Borden.
Well, sometimes when I ask for water at night, she doesn't respond.
You're bluffing.
Are we?
It wasn't his fault. They deserved it.
You pinned it on an innocent person, your friend no less. And for what? For revenge? You're despicable.
Do come in. Someone has killed Father.